What pulled me into this scene was the tiny pot of white flowers sitting inside all this darkness. The challenge today is to keep the light glowing, but still make the door, the steps, and this whole wall readable, not just one dark, big shape. Hi, I'm Beatriz. Welcome back to the studio. For today's dark doorway painting, the challenge is simple. Can we keep this scene dark and moody, but still making it readable? Can we see where the door starts, where the steps finish, instead of just making it one flat, dark shape? This was my starting point, but I wanted the painting to feel moodier and more dramatic. So I kept the main idea, but I pushed the shadows deeper and I used the flowers and the path of light as the focal point. So the goal is to preserve the small areas of light, build the darks around them, and keep the door, the steps, and the structures believable. We're gonna preserve the light, but we're gonna also make the shadows speak. So let's get started. I am protecting the flowers so that I can paint the wall freely. So now that I got my whites protected, we're gonna go ahead and start applying the underpainting. I'm coming with very diluted neutral tint by Sminky. It's a big chance that I may have to come back and darken this a little bit more because this part over here is very dark, and then it's gonna make everything else look lighter, but that's okay. I'm gonna start giving me the warmer green, so Viridian, yellow ochre, and let's just bring some of the turquoise. And then I'm gonna wet a little bit. This part here will be darker. It's gonna be darker in the top, and then same colors at the top, but more diluted because the light is coming here. I have my masking that is protecting all my flowers, so I can freely apply the color. Just bring it to the top. And then as I go here, yes, I want to darken it a little bit more. I'm going to mix the Cobalt Turquoise and Neutral Tint. We're going to go ahead and start winning this other part of the wall. We'll obviously come back with two other things, but for right now, we're establishing the planes. And yes, although I am coming with the underpainting, I can go ahead and with these diluted colors, I can darken a little bit more where I know that in this wall, it will need to be some dark. Bring in a little bit more of my neutral tint, a little bit more of the Perylene Green, etc. What I can do is, since I have those colors over there, and my brush, I can go ahead and put it here. This is the frame of the door, the open door. To the neutral tint, I added a little bit of indigo, very diluted, by the way. And then I had to hop around to let some of the things dry. So this is a good time to go ahead and start putting this shadow. A little bit gray here too. I warm this gray with a little bit of the yellow ochre as I can get closer to the opening. The goal here is that we're gonna start darkening some of the things. We wanna be able to see where something starts and something finishes. Right now it's the same colors, but with more of the neutral tint or more of the indigo, so that I can start darken. As mentioned before, some of these are gonna go quite a bit darker than they are right now. I still have some of the light coming all the way till the end. So while it's wet, I'm gonna continue to bring some of these colors, just lighten them up. I am not going full strength yet because I wanna conserve to keep my transparency. If I go too dark from the get-go, and then I come with more and more layers, I'm gonna continue to make this too opaque. We don't want that. These two should be almost the same. And then as I get out, I get darker. To the mix of the neutral tint and indigo, me bring in some Perylene Green, because this part of the wall is gonna be dark, but it's gonna be in the green warmer tones. This is gonna be the darkest, as I mentioned it, and it will be a little bit lighter as it goes into this other part of the wall here. And now, to this mix, I'm adding some of the Viridian, and we're gonna finish this up. Start by wetting, and then drop the color. A little bit more of the Perylene in the top, and as I keep going down, oops, some of the water is coming in here, so I had to repaint this at the same time. That's okay, I already have established my darks out there. Bring all of this down. I want to wet a little bit because this is a little bit of a bigger area that is going to be very dark. So I want my dark color to spread evenly. The same Perylene Green and Indigo, and we're going to bring it here, more Perylene Green. See how by putting this very dark color next to this other one, at one point that one looked so dark, and now it's starting to look so much lighter by having this dark color next to it. But we already started to establish the moodiness of the painting. Water, and then my grays, and then we're going to apply them here. I put the color and then I blend. There's a little bit of grays here too, and now we're going to allow all of this to dry. I mentioned many times in the past, every time that we put a darker color, the ones surrounding them become lighter. So because of that, now that we're going to go ahead and start painting, we put in the darker colors first, so that way we know how dark or not to go for the rest. I'm bringing my black, but I'm going to dilute it. Once again, I'm lightly wetting this part. I am not pushing, just dropping my water. I'm going to bring some of it over here, and again, the amount of water that I'm putting is not a lot. I'm not drenching it with water, I'm just wetting so that my black will spread nicely. It's kind of diluted, so some of those green tones will kind of show once this dries. This part is dark. Some of this still is wet, so if I pick with the tip of my brush a little bit of those colors, is okay. We want to darken some areas. Obviously, we don't want it as dark, but a little bit. A couple of highlights here or there, so just lift a little bit of color. But at the very bottom of all, it will be some black. This is the darkest area of the painting. So I don't need to put a lot of detail. I just need to leave enough information for the people to know where is a door, when is a step, etc. So I bring my black. All this is wet. I'm gonna come with thicker black, meaning less diluted. I haven't diluted it, plus I've been wetting. So if now I come with less diluted and whatever wetness is left, I can go ahead and start marking this a little bit more. Bring some there. And especially it will be a few here too. Important thing here is to have some areas darker, and then some other ones where you just take some of the extra color and then just blend. Yes, this is kind of bringing this painting a little bit on that kind of odd or ugly stage, but it's making us having to go only one time when we put odd light colors. And besides, this painting is all about both the light and the dark. Without these darks, the light will not happen. And the habit of when you put your darks, you put these transitions at the same time. Go with water, pick up some of that, bring it to the area that is going to be lighter. This is a good time to just, since I have this dark, let me darken a little bit more here. And we can go ahead and darken this bottom step and this part of the floor. A little bit of the thicker paint here while everything is wet. Alright, so I like this pretty much. I understand this looks hot, but let's just finish with the dark. So I wet, just drop my paint, my water. Drop some of this black with indigo. I drop here and there, and especially at the bottom. I'm gonna dark this corner here quite a bit, allow for a little bit of that to show. Rinse, bring a little bit of this out. It's taking shape nicely, but before I let this dry, I need to put one more dark over here So I'm bringing my blacks with some of the Perylene Green. And we're gonna continue to do what we did. Wet. So I have it here in this one big long shape. Let me put a little underneath the pad. Bring it down. Come some into the steps. And then bring it down. Okay. All the way, this is the darkest area, obviously. And then I'm gonna put some of that. And we're gonna bring water and have the transitions. And now I'm gonna go ahead and let this all dry. And yes, this painting has entered that kind of ugly stage, but we have accomplished quite a bit. By building the darks, we are also enhancing the light and also building into the structure, so where the steps are, where the door are, etc. We have a good foundation that we can build into right now. Now that everything is dry, it has dried seamless beautifully, and it's time to darken our midtones. For that, we're going to be using the same colors: yellow ochre, Viridian, some of the turquoise, and I also have the Perylene Green. Lesson to learn is that the midtones only make sense in relationship to the darks, so that's why I like to put my darks ahead of time. And then once we have these midtones, then we will know how to do the light. I'm waiting, so I'm starting with the warmer tones here, the ones that have more of the yellow ochre. As I get higher, I bring more of the turquoise, and we're gonna drop that here too. We will come and darken a few areas, but now we need to let this dry. However, one thing that I can do is I can go ahead with more of the turquoise. I can go ahead and start darken this wall as well. Yes, we're gonna create texture on this wall, so I don't have to be too careful. Only in a couple places. One is around the pad and this landing area. Grab a little bit of this burnt sienna to my mix, and then I'm gonna warm a couple places here and there, especially around here. You could come with a very light glaze and then just put lightly, and you see how this is already creating, adding to the moodiness of the painting. I'm coming with very diluted of these colors because it's a gray. I needed a gray. Well, that gives me gray. And then a little bit here darker. Then bring a tiny little bit here. I don't want to make this too dark, just a little to get depth. Then we're going to put a little bit of the yellow ochre in the top, and now just with water we top it up, so we go from darker to lighter. Basically, we're doing a little bit of what it will be considered negative painting by putting a few darks here around the other edge of the pad, right? For the shadow, and that's going to give us the door frame. We have everything dry, so we can go ahead and darken the areas where we need to. Same colors, just more of them. Let's dilute them. Turquoise with yellow ochre, and then some of the Perylene Green. All right, so let's just say we bring it till around there. Then I come with water and I fade it out. Okay, so I come with this dark color. I bring this, and by dragging some of that, I make it lighter enough. And then I'm gonna come here. Now, this part needs to be a little bit darker, so let's just come with Perylene Green alone. Maybe. And go ahead and drop a little here too. I'm going to allow a little bit of that underpainting to show. And then you can come with only water if you want to, or you can add a little bit of the yellow ochre. That's up to you. Either way will look good. I'm coming with burnt sienna here in the inside of this part of the door. I'm going to drop the burnt sienna, let it dry, and then I will come with the greens and we put them on top of those. Yeah, this is a little wet still, but it will be good to put a little here and there, especially here in this corner. This is gonna be the little detail that we're gonna be putting, maybe a tiny little bit more, but not too much. So go ahead and bring some of this here. It's a light gray. I wanna allow some of the green to show, so come with the gray. Then rinse and bring only water. This darker area, I'm coming now with grays, and I'm gonna drop those on top of the burnt sienna. I put those. Now I come with the more diluted grays. Added a little bit of that green to my grays, and then I'm just gonna put it next to the darkest. Come with only water, and then dilute. All right. Finally, with the Indigo and Neutral Tint by Sminky that we were using for this. I still have it on my palette, so I'm gonna come again on top of the burnt sienna. Now I'm picking up the leftover colors that I have into these palettes, very diluted. I'm gonna drop these colors here. Now those leftovers also of this gets dropped while it's wet. And then we put it from more to less, and we allow these two to meet. There we go. This is a great time to go ahead and start working on the pad. So the part that I want the lighters, I wet. Then I come with some leftover grays. And let's just put this very, very dark color here. This is Neutral Tint by Sminky. And I added some Perylene Green. Instead of coming with only water, let's just come with some of those grays and have this blend here. Just completely dry. Take all the colors out of here, and then do this transition with water. Once I put this wall, we will be able to remove the masking. I'm getting my Perylene Green ready, and I'm adding Burnt Umber to it. So I'm wetting my wall, and yes, usually when we add texture, we do it in dry paper, or in dry brush even, but because I want the texture to support the painting, not to take away, not distracting from the flowers, I'm gonna drop them, but I'm gonna have them more subtle. It's gonna get even darker. I need to be very mindful of keeping this area here lighter, because that is what is gonna be telling the story. So I wet, come with this mix, and start darkening this part over here. This is gonna be the darker area. Just drop over there as well, because this is wet. I can go ahead and blend some, maybe even drop a little bit of yellow ochre there. All right, back to this color, and now we're gonna be darkening it here again. While it's wet, I'm gonna bring some more of the turquoise. I'm gonna come even darker. Again, I'm protecting my light, but see how by putting this dark over here, my light seems to get brighter. Well, all of this is kind of blended, but I still want to distinguish where the wall is, where the floor, the steps, etc. So I bring a little bit of that color. We work pretty hard on even this up. I'm not planning to redo everything again. Just drop, get it a little bit higher so everything is not so even. And I can come with a little bit of the black and darken a little again on this door frame. And we have arrived to the point to remove masking fluid. These flowers, although they are a small part of the composition, they play an important role because they're the focal point. Our eye goes to there, and then they guide us through the light, etc. So let's remove it, and let's finish this painting. I really like how this is looking. Now I just have to obviously put some finishing touches. So yellow ochre, and we're gonna go ahead and put a few centers for the flowers, especially in the parts where we have more light. I don't have to put them on all of them, so you will only see a touch Dark. Now we're gonna lift a little bit. This part over here got slightly too dark for my taste, so I'm coming with my brush. This is the silver Bristol, and I don't want to scrub. I'm just gonna drop a little bit of water, and I'm gonna lift a little bit of the color that comes underneath the end of the door. Go once or twice, get a tissue and take some of it. I don't want to take it all, just a little. Oh, I need to put the handle of my door. Let's see, the darks that I was having over there. I'm gonna start, because I mean the light is here and this is against the light. Now to these same colors, let's just get a little more of the greens for the rest. This is a little too dark, so let me come with put a little bit of water, nothing major, take some of that out. Gonna do the same thing here. I want a little bit of this door, so come lightly. Okay, and I got it there. Any other places, maybe a little one here too. I need to darken a little at the bottom of this pad. Yes, the light is coming here, so it's washing out more of the reflection, but I can do a little bit of that edge. Then darken a little here. I'll bring some of the grays right next to it. Down, and then tap. Last thing that I want to do is come with this lifting brush, put a little highlight there, put another one here, the light is hitting here, and like I mentioned before, we do both light and dark, and that's how everything makes sense. So the takeaway from this lesson is control your darks, build them slowly. So yes, they're dark, but you can still see through them because they have different strains of dark instead of just one big flat dark area. And of course, those little lights, the flowers and the little thing of light bring the whole painting together. If you would like to paint alongside with me, the paint along packs are an open studio inside Patreon. I will link it below. I hope that you learned something out of this video with me, and I will see you on the next one.